for few minutes.
Okay, ma'am. You can wait for the participant for a few minutes.
Few minutes. I just want wait for few minutes. There are a lot of noise. Dr. Ghosh, there are a lot of noises in the background.
Now, is it okay, ma'am?
Right now it's okay. Again, there are after few minutes. Again, there is
Hello.
hello. Now it's again there is. It is conducted for the students, Dr. Ghosh. It is conduct. This webinar is conducted for the students. Hello. Hello. Am I audible? Hello. 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 Am I audible?
You are audible enough.
So the participant number of participants are 9. Shall I start or shall I wait, Dr. Ghosh? Shall I start the lecture, Dr. Ghosh, or shall I wait?
Madam, you can start it. They will join.
Okay. Good afternoon, participants. We are joined here. Critical issue is related to is sentient in this COVID-19 pandemic. Again, there were lots of voices. In January 2020, the World Health Organization has declared the outbreak of this new disease termed as COVID-19 to be a public health emergency of international concern. WHO has stated that there is a high risk of COVID-19 spreading to other countries around the world. In March 2020, World Health Organization made the assessment that COVID-19 can be characterized as pandemic. We all are aware about these informations. As this crisis evolves and persists, it has been increasingly important for the research community to conduct investigations that address the mental health consequences of COVID 19. So the world is on reel with the upsurge of this novel coronavirus, which has directed towards public health exigency. As I stated earlier, that it has been declared by WHO as public health emergency of international concern. This pandemic, termed as COVID-19, has instantaneously affected the psychological states, altering the mental health of the population around the world. Different inhibitory measures in form of immobilization, degrees of quarantine, social distancing, implementation of lockdown, hygiene protection, etc. to prevent this contagion has actually disrupted the normalcy and scaffolded the Indian population. Today, I'm going to discuss about the mental health issues related to COVID-19 crisis. The session is based on primary and secondary data sources, which has revealed that this gruesome pandemic had led to mental health imbalances, which, when overlooked, may aggravate the situation, leading to different physiological, psychological, emotional, and behavioral inconsistencies. The causes of mental health effects in the context of COVID-19 are multifactorial and likely to include biological, behavioral, and environmental determinants. But switching over to the risk factors associated with mental health, or we can say the psychological, physiological, emotional inconsistencies, I would like to define what actually mental health is. There are three components of mental health. The first is emotional well-being, the second, psychological well-being, and the third is social well-being. I'm reiterating: emotional well-being, psychological well-being, and social well-being. According to World Health Organization, mental health is a state of well-being in which the individual realizes his or her own capabilities and can cope up with the normal stresses of life, can work productively, fruitfully, and is able to make contribution to his or her community. It means if our mental health is sound, that it will enable every individual to use their abilities in harmony with the universal values of society. Universal values of society. This is a remarkable point or statement which needs further clarification, that what is this universal values of society? It means respect and care for oneself and others. Recognition of connectedness between people. Respect for the environment we are living in. Respect for one's own freedom as well as others' freedom. That is actual universal values of society. Different studies has comparatively analyzed the immediate impact of this pandemic, which has caused psychological distress to males and females and has identified different risk factors associated with it. So I would not describe actually in depth about mental health, but will switching over to the topic, which is about addressing the mental health issues during COVID-19 crisis, I would like to first discuss about the risk factors which are associated with this pandemic aftermath. Before that, I would like to say one research statement, that is, the pandemic shows a higher instantaneous impact on females in comparison to males. That means females are more affected in context or comparison to male or their male counterpart as far as mental health is concerned. So what are the risk factors which are associated with it? The first and foremost is our social distancing, which we have to follow either hook or by crook to stop this contagion to spread. The second is closure of educational institutions and workplace, which has actually put psychological pressure on the students as well as a financial burden, financial crisis to the population, which has instantaneously affected the mental health. And we can get different news in different news channels and newspapers that how this financial crisis is affecting the mental health, the psychological health, the psychological state of population worldwide. Cancellation of mass gathering, parties, wedding ceremonies, or ceremonies of different kinds, felicitation, different students were farewell felicitations, farewells were there, convocations, seminars, conferences, not on virtual mode. It was actually on offline mode. So conferences, whether national or international, ceremonies of different kinds in the family, all are actually cancelled in this situation. So it is actually all this cancellation of mass gathering has also affected immensely the psychological state of an individual, as well as different types of restrictions, medication efficacy, because we are using this sanitization, this wearing the masks, the gloves all time, and there is a phobia of virus, which is actually again impacting adversely the mental health. For feature of finance, which I already stated earlier, impoverished health, and other safety measures which we are using to stop this spreading of coronavirus. So all these are risk factors which are associated with this pandemic and which has resulted adversely in affecting the mental health, not of the only of the Indian population, but of the population around the world, around the globe. So these were the risk factors, but the actually topic of discussion is how these risk factors are affecting, what is the consequences, what are the ramifications, what is the impact of this COVID-19, of these risk factors on our mental health. This is the topic of discussion. Actually, firstly, these risk factors are inescapable. We cannot escape it. Right now, these are as guidelines, these are the mandatory tools which have to be followed, which needs to be followed in either of the situation. So this has affected the mental health, leading to different Physiological complications, altered attitude, inconsistent behavior. So naming few of them, for example, today I will discuss about what physiological complications, emotional and behavioral imbalances we are dealing about. In my next session, I will speak about how there are difference in genders. That means how this COVID has affected males and females well-being in different platform, in different level. So that I will discuss tomorrow. And in my last session, I will discuss about the strategies to cope up with this altered mental health. What will be the strategies? We will say the strategies as mental resilience. So I will discuss about the tools and techniques of mental resilience, which will be used, or better to say, which should be used, which is used to cope up with this crisis, which calls for collaboration, which calls for collaboration and compassion from mankind. Because the exigency of the hour is to embrace different strategies of mental resilience to overthrow this pandemic aftermath. Because if these inconsistencies in form of emotional imbalances or behavioral imbalances or psychological imbalances or physiological imbalances, if it is overlooked, it may aggravate, and it has actually aggravated the situation. So it is the exigency of the hour to not to overlook, but to use the tools of mental resilience to cope up with this pandemic crisis. That I will discuss in my last session, the strategies of mental resilience. Today, I will discuss about how this has affected our physiological or emotional well-being. What are the complications? So I earlier stated that today I'm discussing in this session based on the primary and secondary data resources, what till date, whatever the researches has been conducted regarding mental health issues worldwide, that has been gathered, that has been used by me during this discussion, as well as few of I have also conducted few of the researches that will be called as primary data. So depending upon even my research, I have came to conclusion, and that I'm also going to discuss in this session. How, what type of complications on the level of physiology the individual is getting. So the first one is headache. It has been found that the population is frequently complaining or frequently getting headache with no reason found. Vertigo. Vertigo is actually spinning of head. For example, you are standing and automatically in a minute or in after an hour, after 2 hours, the individual feels that the whole world or the walls or the environment is spinning. So that is actually vertigo. Actually, this vertigo is related to central nervous system, and because of an ear problem or ear disorder, it actually happens. But in this case, because the mental health is affected, the psychological health is affected, so it has been found in various researches that vertigo complains of vertigo is also there. The population, especially the Indian population, has complained about vertigo, spinning of head, rareka chakarana. That is also a case in this COVID-19 crisis. Increased blood sugar. The level of blood sugar has been increased. It has been found in a research. Whatever I'm discussing, it is actually database. So increased blood sugar. The individuals who are already suffering from high blood sugar, they their blood sugar is already increased, but it has been found that the blood sugar level, the individual blood sugar levels are normal. Their blood sugar level has been increased. Blood sugar level, increase of blood sugar level is actually very much dependent on the stress or level of tension. The more the level of tension, it has been found again in different researches that stress is directly proportional to level of blood sugar. The more the stress, the more the individual takes the stress, the more the individual takes tension, it will increase the level of blood sugar. While I'm talking about stress, we usually take stress as a negative factor. When somebody says stress, we feel that it is actually a negative thing. No, there are two types of stress. The first is eustress, and the second is distress. Eustress, EUSTRESS, eustress. It is actually a positive stress. We need a positive stress. The individual need a positive stress to accomplish any task. For example, if it is announced that in a week or in a day or two, there is an examination, our mind works so well that it can grasp a book, two books, or three books in a day or in 2 days, because there is a bit of a stress which is actually needed to attain the objective, accomplish the task. When the level of stress increases from beyond a point, for example, what I said, that a level of stress, a bit of stress is necessary to accomplish a task. But if this level increases in such a way that it is actually putting obstacles or hindrances in attaining the objective or getting complications, that means the individual is complaining of getting any type of complications because of this stress, that is termed as negative stress, which is known as distress. So eustress is a positive stress which is needed to accomplish a task. Distress is a negative stress because stress is needed, but the level is fixed. Everything in this nature has its limitation. Whenever the limitations are crossed, then there is a situation of catastrophe. So stress has a limitation. When it is limited, it is used positively. When the limitation crosses the boundary, then it is actually affecting the individual negatively. For example, we take the medicine, the doses are fixed as prescribed by the doctor, but if we take more, that means overdose of that medicine, that is not going to cure us. That is going to affect adversely health, leading to different consequences and ramifications. Similarly, stress is essential to accomplish a task, but if this stress is increasing and affecting adversely psychological, physiological, emotional, or behavioral well-being of an individual, then it is actually distress, negative stress, which needs to be cured, which needs to be treated. So I was talking about increased blood sugar. So because I already discussed that stress is a reason of increased blood sugar. So in this pandemic, it has been found that the level of stress is increased.